Welcome once again to Commercial Property Club podcast. I am your host usually, and today we'll be diving into a super topic today. My name is still Ola Ibiwoye, your host here at Commercial Property Club podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be diving into a super topic today, one of our pod chapters today, and we would be diving into a hot topic in the world of apartment investing. That's always the case. Talking about apartments, it's one of my passion. The asset class, apartment, I believe, is one of the best asset class when it comes to commercial real estate property. So today we'll be talking about the boom, the demand for apartments in Texas. Several years back, was an emerging market. It's still some pockets of emerging markets that you could identify in Texas, and we're going to be diving deep into some of the wonderful, great emerged market or still emerging in the areas of its core or suburb. Whether you're a seasoned investor or you're just starting, this episode is for you, and we'll give you insight into why now is the perfect time to tap into these markets. So let's get started. I'll be right back. Stay tuned to this particular episode. You want to sit back and relax and soak in the information I'm going to bring you today, okay? This is Ola Ibiwoye of Commercial Property Club podcast. Today, we will be giving you valuable information that will help you invest well, okay? I'll be right back. Thank you for joining me right back. Like I said, today's pod chapter title will be the boom demand for apartments in Texas emerging markets. That's what we're going to be talking about together. We're going to be talking about several aspects of the boom, the several places that you could call metropolitan place, and also to your suburban neighborhoods or area that we'll be talking about that's emerging when it comes to apartment investing. So let's talk about growth, the growing appeal of Texas emerging markets. We see investors these days just focusing on market. Texas has been a key playing market in the U.S. real estate. But in recent years, emerging market in certain aspects of pockets of Texas has really emerged. Some have taken on a speed of its own, and some are still pretty much, unfolding in some bouts of steady speed that I would say. Cities like Austin, water boom in Austin, San Antonio, Fort Worth has also been a place where there's so much emerging aspect of the apartment investing things. Let's look at things critically. Now, there's increased attention from apartment investors, and why is that? Why is it that investors are focusing on these emerging markets? Let's look at population growth over the past decade, 10 years. I've been living in Texas for about close to 20 years now, 17 thereabout. Texas has really consistently been ranked among the fastest growing states out there. It's no surprise at all that it's an emerging market. People are moving here in mass. People are really moving from all over the country in search of jobs. That's the key thing when it comes to apartment investing. Jobs. Where are the jobs going? Where are the people going? What are the decisions of families in terms of affordability in living, better qualities of life? You got to look at things like that when it comes to titles to indicate emerging markets. Now, according to recent census data's out there also too. Texas has really experienced population increase of in ranges of nearly 15% in certain cities over the last 5 years. No, it's no brainer why apartment investing will be a target for investors in this area. Now, with more people coming in, the need for housing definitely would ultimately will be the thing that it will be occurring, and this is where the opportunity lies for apartment investors. Families will need where to stay. Individuals that are just starting their lives will need places to stay. Workers will need places to stay. Now, these emerging markets offer unique combinations of economic growth, a strong demand, and relative affordability compared to other larger cities in the U.S. Now, what is the key takeaway when it comes to this? In terms of people moving, in terms of population growth is the driving force in housing demands. Now, emerging markets in Texas like Austin's Fort Worth offer promising opportunity for investors that are looking for long-term returns, because the stabilities of these places that I just mentioned is tantamount to the increase in influx of people from all over places like California, people moving from California down to Texas, and all the states like New York, people are moving down. Affordability, migration, location of job, balancing of the economy of the family, balancing of the economy of individual. These are titles that are bringing about what I would say is one of the key things that is making these markets emerge. Let's talk about another aspect that we could say is one of the key driving factors when it comes to apartment demand in these emerging pockets of area. Let's break it down. The factors driving demands in some aspect when it says, firstly, we talked about the job growth. That's a major contribution. Texas is home to several booming industries like your technology, the likes of your healthcare also too, which I'm part of in some aspect. Logistics also too. You can but to take note about the vast land space in Texas. Logistics is huge down here, and also too, manufacturing is very pronounced here in the Texas area. There's a lot of money flowing into this axis of the United States of America. I'm talking about the market that I mentioned, the likes of your Austin, the likes of your Fort Worth, the likes of San Antonio, the Dallas area also too. Austin has earned the nickname of what we call right now the Silicon Hills. Yeah, I'm sure that resonates. Something common, a name that we'll always refer to in San Francisco, which is your Silicon Valley. San Francisco is known for that prominent name, but Austin is now the new hub of tech. So it's called Silicon Hill due to the influx of tech companies setting up shops in the Austin area, the core of Austin and the suburb of Austin. And these companies are expanding. The workforce is growing in these particular companies, and it does ultimately translate into more demand in housing. So Austin, an emerging market in some areas have already emerged. They're still growing. Can be said that it's a place that investors can come in and see what can be in 5, 6, 7, 10 years. The value of your money, the authenticity, the integrity of your capital, you can say is assured in terms of when you forecast going down the road. So now, what about San Antonio, often referred to as the Alamo City, also experiencing impressive growth in the healthcare sector, actually, with major hospitals and medical institutions expanding. There's a rise in demand also too for housing for medical professionals and their families. So you can't but to notice rather the growth in San Antonio because of the healthcare system that you see growing out there. Another crucial factor is affordability. Yes, affordability. While the cost of living is rising, Texas is still relatively affordable, actually, compared to other major metros like the likes of your California, the likes of your New York, even Florida. You know, I used to live in Florida, South, you know, towards the likes of your Miami. You know, I used to live there, so I know what it means. I know what the cost basis can be in terms of comparable. I know the difference very well. So, you know, people moving in from Florida, and this affordability is drawing people from high cost city. Yes, seeking low rents and more rooms for their dollar. I remember several years back when I moved, before the subprime, I moved from Florida down here to Texas. So the affordability is just, you know, there's gaps in that, in what I could call there's a difference. So I know the cost of living in South Florida. I know what it means when you want to compare it to the affordability that Texas offers. You know, I live in the Dallas area right now, so I know what the difference in that shift. Now, what is the takeaway in what I just said? Job growth and economic development creates a solid foundation for long-term demand for rental properties, your apartments. Affordability in the Texas city compared to major coastal market make Texas just affordable for renters. Yes, affordability, you can't but to notice that too when it comes to all this emerging market. Remember, I'm talking about why the boom is in all this emerging market. Now, let's see what it means to capitalize on these opportunities as an investor. So, how do you capitalize on the growing demands of rentals, the growing demands of housing, the growing demands of units in apartments? As investor, we just need to focus on areas with strong economic fundamentals. That's what it is. This means looking at cities and neighborhoods in those emerging markets with job growth, new infrastructure, and new government investments that favors investors. For example, Fort Worth is really undergoing significant development in the form of transportation and commercial hubs, positioning itself as an emerging market with long-term potential also too. When you look at titles like that, those would inform your investing decisions also too. Similarly, also too, when you look at Austin, critically, the rapid expansion of its tech sectors and the role of tech hub is very powerful when it comes to driving rental demands. Very powerful. Those two, we should look at those two. So as an investor, it's important to track these growth patterns closely. You want to find neighborhoods that are just starting to show signs of growth before they become too expensive for the average investors. For those of you that are starting out newly, you want to really look back and say that, okay, I need to get in the tides. You know, there's a wave of investment that starts from little, then creeps up, and before you know it becomes expensive. So that's what you got to look at for when it comes to emerging markets, ahead of the curve also too. What are my actionable tips that I can give you? Research migration. I can but stress that. Research migration patterns to pinpoint areas with high potential for growth, because when you follow migration, you follow the direction of where jobs will be. People will typically move where the jobs are. People will typically move where they think there's affordability. So when you track migration, evidently you can be able to track where there's high potential for growth. What about leverage? You got leverage market data to predict demand before prices rise. You have to look at some of the leverage titles, look at data that will predict before rising of rates, even in the aspect of buying, or if it means you're selling. You have to track all this thing, have it under your belt before it gets to a point whereby it would sabotage your either buying or you're selling. Now, conclusion to this. Texas, imagine apartment markets are really thriving with strong demand driven by job growth, like I said, affordability, economic development. Now, the opportunity for us as investors requires, like I said, strategic research and a keen understanding of what the market is all about. Talk to your brokers, you talk to your agents in those areas, or get feelers from property managers also too in those areas. They have tons of valuable information that they can actually offer you if you're investing. As an investor, either as a doctor, either as a pharmacist or nurses or dentist or a high net worth individual out there investing in apartment, these are areas that can give you tons and tons of information. Well, we talked about today booming of emerging markets, and like I said, you know, it's something you have to really pay attention to and be able to focus, laser focus when it comes to making your decision when it comes to apartment investing. So the boom demand for apartment in Texas emerging market, that was the topic for today. The boom demand in Texas emerging markets. We talked about several cities that you probably are familiar with before now. I'm just re-emphasizing cities like Austin, cities like San Antonio, likes of your Fort Worth, even some pockets of city also too that I didn't touch bases. I just highlighted some major cities or metros that I feel are core, that investors are really paying attention to. There are other cities also too in those suburban areas of these major cities I just mentioned also too. So hey, I hope today's episode has given you valuable insight into why this market in Texas is the next big thing in apartment investment. It has been for a little bit of numbers of years actually, and I just want to reiterate that, give you some more information as to regard why this is a boom in Texas. We're going to be talking more on several other topics concerning the Texas market. So don't forget to look out for the next episode now here at Property Club Podcast for more tips, market analysis, and investor strategy. Until next time, happy investing. Like I always said, I hope you find today's episode helpful. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Subscribe. Also to follow me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Ola at ola.i@commercialpropertyclub.net if you want to send me an email. And also to, like I said, we're on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Particularly subscribe to my channel on YouTube rather for more resources. Don't forget, you can send me an email. Share this podcast with somebody out there, a colleague at the hospital, a colleague at the pharmacy, a colleague out there that is seeking to invest in tangible assets like apartments. What of you? Thank you for tuning in today to another episode of Commercial Property Club podcast. My name is still Ola Ibiwoye. I will see you another time. Happy investing.